Hey, this is Trevor Smith. Welcome to Full Burn, where we kick some tires, light some fires, and talk to awesome space and defense founders. Today, I've got Dan Faber of Orbit Fab.
Great.
Dan, where are we?
We are at the National Space Symposium at the Broadmoor Hotel in Colorado Springs.
And what are we in?
We are in an Audi. What do you call this thing?
Oh, it's an R8.
An Audi R8.
So this
Can you
was...
tell I'm not a car guy?
Yeah, very quickly. Yeah. So this was what Tony Stark drove in the first Iron Man.
Oh, cool. Yeah, sorry, my car knowledge, pop culture knowledge, and everything. I shelved all that and just filled the brain with satellites.
How's Space Symposium been for you?
It's been pretty good. Yeah, we're doing the whole gas caps and refueling satellites in orbit, and we're on the edge of Space Force just saying everything's got to have a fueling port. Everything's got to be refuelable.
So tell me about Orbit Fab. What is Orbit Fab? I mean, I see your shirt, gas stations in space.
That's it. We got
great tagline.
A 4-word pitch.
It's pretty simple.
I had my business card. It says that on the back. Like, this is the pitch deck. Gas stations in space. We're done. You now know what we do. Oh yeah, refueling satellites in orbit. At the moment, they throw them away, which is kind of dumb and inefficient. Perfectly good satellites that cost millions or billions of dollars that typically still making money or bringing effects to bear. So need to get them some more fuel.
All right. So what does this look like? What does this refueling gas station look like?
Oh, we had to build a gas cap. There was no way to plug satellites in to refuel them. NASA spent about $1.5 billion trying to do satellite surgery and put fuel into satellite
on a gas cap. They spent $1.5 billion on a gas cap.
No, they were on the robots.
Oh, on the robots.
Yeah,
okay.
they're trying to inject fuel into an old satellite, and then they gave up because they hadn't finished.
Yeah.
But everyone has started buying our gas caps. So they're like, well, obviously no one's going to need this. Don't try and do robotic surgery in space. That's expensive. So we built the gas cap, and now anyone who launches with the gas cap, we can refuel. And then we put up like little fuel delivery vehicles.
Yeah.
And they can go from client to client delivering fuel. When they run low, we put up a big depot, just a big dumb tank of fuel with a gas cap on it. We can suck the fuel out of that, take it to the customers.
So a bunch of fuel tanks just flying around?
Yeah, a bunch of fuel tanks, a few fuel delivery vehicles,
okay,
and customers with our Ralph fueling.
Is there a convenience store attached to this gas station?
Would you like beef jerky?
Yeah.
Can I clean your windscreen?
Well, soda fountain.
Yeah. One day.
So how old is this company? How did it get started?
Started 2018. What does that make us? 6 years, 7 years, something like that.
Yeah. Solid math.
How to get started? Well, my last company was doing mining, asteroid mining.
Oh.
We wanted to do asteroid mining.
Okay.
But we realized that no one was buying asteroid mining, so we built thrusters to move satellites around in orbit. So I kind of knew the whole thruster side of things. And so when we sold that one, I was talking with folks like, can we create a commodities exchange in orbit to accelerate asteroid mining?
Yeah.
Create a market for it. And eventually got asking folks like, what commodities would you like? Of course, it's propellant. How much would that be worth? Like, what's the marginal revenue you could get if I get an extra kilogram of fuel? And then they said $1 million, and I fell off my chair. It's $1 million of marginal revenue for 1 kilo of fuel.
Wow.
I can get that fuel to orbit for like $1,000 to $10,000 a kilo.
Sounds like
and it makes $1 million of value.
Yeah.
I never heard of numbers like that. You add it up, it's about a $10 billion a year market.
Sounds like there's some margin to be made.
You could drive a freight train through that. So that was it. We dropped all the other ideas I was looking at, turned down checks on other opportunities, just went all in on this, and now we're pumping gas.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tell me, who is Dan Faber? Who is Dan?
Oh, this tall, lanky guy.
Tall and apparently allergic to the sun.
Yeah. I grew up in Tasmania, where it's cloudy most of the time. It's kind of like Seattle or Vancouver or something. It's probably wetter. Grew up on a dairy farm. But
Milking cows?
Yeah. My grandfather was a dairy farmer, so lots of milk.
Yeah.
Dutch heritage, thus the pasty skin and the tallness. I come by that legitimately. But my dad's an engineer, mum's a chemist, so I'm probably doomed to do something technical. Read too much science fiction. Got to university and decided getting humans off Earth would probably be as significant as like when we crawled out of the ocean.
Yeah.
And kind of important for addressing existential risks and things. Why would I work on anything else? So I wrote down a list of industries of what might pay for the first permanent job in space. that list was tourism and mining and space-based solar power.
Okay.
I could do math, so I crossed out space-based solar power.
So you can't do math, so you cross that out.
I can do math. Right?
Oh, you can do math.
Yeah, back in the 90s, that did not make sense.
Got it.
And I was doing engineering in undergrad, so I decided I'd chip away at asteroid mining. So that's kind of been the theme of the career.
So how did the asteroid mining startup go? Can you
Oh,
walk me through the birth, livelihood, and death? Is it still
yeah,
on?
I guess so. Before we started Deep Space Industries, Deep Space was my third company already. So
Okay.
I built a dozen satellites, started building companies, and always thought I'd get around to building
what were
an
the
asteroid
first
mining company eventually.
What were the first two companies?
Instrumentation for the mining industry,
Okay.
terrestrial
mining.
industry. So I was already getting to know the mining world.
Yep.
And then high-speed internet for Antarctica.
Cool.
So we built the first Ka-band transponder for CubeSats and nanosats.
Wow.
Because what I wanted was a really small radio that I could communicate across the solar system.
Yeah.
Right? So the higher you go in frequency, the smaller the dishes get and everything else. So that was the asteroid mining part of why I wanted to do that one.
Yeah.
But then, it was the idea was like build high-speed comms for Antarctica where you can't use the geocomsats because they can't see around the curve.
So the first two sort of led into the third.
Oh, they're all sort of
Yeah.
this very indirect path because no one's funding asteroid mining, right? And then planetary resources.
I hear they are now.
They are.
I hear
now.
they are
Amazing. Yeah. But this is like 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So planetary resources came out and said, we're going to do asteroid mining. It's a bad movie out there. Like we're beating off billionaires with an ugly stick and stuff. And so I ran into a group of folks who said they were going to do a second asteroid mining company and pick up all of the billionaires who couldn't get their money into planetary resources.
Yeah.
Of course, that was just marketing for planetary resources.
Yeah.
So a year and a half in, and the business model of Bag a Billionaire hadn't worked.
Bag of billionaire.
And so I said, look, why don't you give me a chance to run it, and we'll build technology people want to buy.
Yeah.
We'll build thrusters that can move satellites around in orbit that will eventually be able to run off asteroid-derived propellant. Because the first thing you should sell out of an asteroid is fuel. The contained mineral value of like the platinum-grade elements is several $1,000s per ton of ore. The contained mineral value of the nickel is about the same, several $1,000s per ton of ore. On Earth, that will make you stupidly rich.
Wow.
We mine things on Earth that are like down to $10 per ton of ore. That's viable. So several thousands is phenomenal. But the contained value of a ton of like carbonaceous chondrite asteroid with 10 or 20% water in it,
Yeah.
the contained value of that water, if turned into propellant,
Yep. Like blocks.
is multiple millions of dollars
Wow.
per ton of ore.
Yeah.
And so like that's obviously the first thing we should mine, but then nobody's using thrusters that can run off those propellants in orbit. So that was step one, so let's build the thrusters.
Yep.
So we built a steam kettle. We built a thruster that ran on water and it ejected superheated steam. And so you just putt around in orbit. So that got picked up by Black Sky, Capella, Umbra, Hawkeye 360.
Wow.
Even before we designed the thruster, we were already selling them. Because it's boring, right?
Pre-sales.
It's a steam kettle. And we'd assembled a team that had worked on 12 different thruster technologies. So everybody went, okay, you guys will obviously figure this out. We leveraged that non-existent thruster to be the prime contractor for the Hawkeye 360 first constellation.
Oh, cool.
So we were the prime contractor because we had the only thruster that fit that class of spacecraft because we didn't have a thruster, but we convinced everyone we would.
Yeah.
So that was how we were bootstrapping that one. So
Fake it till you make it.
Oh God, way beyond that.
Way beyond.
But it was working, and it absolutely worked. I mean, look at where Hawkeye 360 is now, right?
Yeah.
That constellation worked, the thruster worked. I remember when Capella launched and they announced, like a few weeks after they launched, they'd maneuvered out of the way a piece of debris.
Yeah.
That was our thruster. The first time that we knew it would be turned on. It was great. It was fantastic.
Oh, they did the maneuvering with your thruster.
Yeah, and without telling us.
Okay.
Just, it must be working. Yeah,
Got it.
It was cool. It was very cool.
Got it.
But the board, like we had 12 equally vested founders. Never, ever do that.
12.
12.
That's a new record.
I'm
I'm friends with Quinn Dog. There's 6.
Oh,
But 12?
No, don't do 6.
Oh
like,
my god.
2 is probably one too many. That's not true. Two or 3 is good, but no, 12 equally vested. So you can imagine we've got 60% dead equity on the cap table because most of those aren't working for it. Oh yeah. Now we do it.
Yeah. Dust moving, flying.
Stick that on the ground here.
There we go. Yeah.
So I'd go out and try and raise money.
Yeah.
And like, okay, firstly, you got 60% dead equity. You're going to have to do a recap at some point. So
Right.
I'll invest after you do the recap. I'm not giving you money. So I couldn't raise. Right?
Because you have 12 founders.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, they controlled the board.
Yeah.
And half the people on the board had founding stock that's vesting. at least we set up a vesting schedule, but then the board of directors weren't going to cancel the vesting and get rid of everything because they're the ones that are benefiting from it. Right? And then their egos are attached to the whole idea of asteroid mining. So like, we have to sell a technology company here. We can keep the BHAG of asteroid mining. Like, that's the big, hairy, audacious goal.
Yeah.
But we've got to brand everything as a tech company because we're selling thrusters and we're selling satellites. Wouldn't have it. You've got to put it out there as an asteroid mining company. So that was it. We ended up getting in another CEO, and he convinced them they should do that, and he completely killed the asteroid mining thing.
Oh, man.
But he wasn't a space guy, so he didn't have that like vision and know where to take it.
Yeah.
And so the best he could do was package it up, and we sold it to Bradford Space in Europe.
Oh.
So the Bradford water thrusters and everything.
Did my COO Christian, when he was at Bradford, did he work on that or no? He was like Bradford US.
Yeah. So the basis of Bradford US was Deep Space Industries. It became
Interesting.
Bradford Space.
I didn't know we had that in common.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. There you go.
So what was the seminal moment that you're like, Orbit Fab's going to be a thing? If there was like one day, what did that look like? Or maybe the gating that led up to that?
It was when somebody said like the marginal revenue I can get to $1 million a kilo.
So when was that? Like, what was that day? Like, are you a solo founder? Do you have a co-founder?
We were originally 3 founders.
Okay.
It's Orbit Fab because we were going to make semiconductors in orbit.
Yep.
Thus the Fab. Not because it's my surname. That's just a bonus.
So this started out as a fab shop.
Yeah, we were going to make semiconductors. Like, we weren't going to do the fab of the chips. We were going to do the ingots, but so make indium phosphide and that kind of thing in 0G, like massively lower defect densities. You were very tame on those corners.
Well, it's 20 miles an hour, and I had some bicyclers yell at me yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard the cops give a good look out on this road.
Yeah. So you had 3 founders.
Yeah, so we had 3 founders. We one guy had come up with this idea of let's do indium phosphide semiconductor. So I was meeting up with him after I left Deep Space Industries. I come out for lunch, right? Here's what you do. It'll cost $150 if you want to set up a company, and I'll help you out. Maybe this is interesting. Dive deeper into that. So we set the company up, but then realized it was a terrible idea.
Which part of it was terrible?
So the only options for getting down mass at the time was like Soyuz, or you could get a Russian Bion module they used to launch once, because this was before Dragon.
Okay. Yeah.
And so we like, can we fit it into that? Yes. We want to rely on the Russians. At that time, they were still our friends. This is before they'd gone into Ukraine the first time. But that was the only option. But we could make 1 ingot, and then the whole global market for 6 years was 1 ingot.
Oh wow!
Because indium phosphide, you don't need a lot of it, and like no one wants to pay for substrate. And the advantage it would bring in terms of like the lasers, because it's indium phosphide's an electro-optic material, so you use it to make the lasers for laser quantum chips.
Yep.
So you could pump a whole lot more power because you've got lower defect density, means lower heat loss, right? So you can really pump the power on it, so you get much higher data rates. But the market's tiny, and in order to realize that market, you have to get everybody else to get the advantages of that higher data rate.
Yeah.
So you probably need the Z-band fibers they want to make in space. You probably need that fiber, but you'd also need like the next generation of electronics.
Yeah.
And so you'd have to bring along the whole ecosystem that builds the end-to-end comms, computer to computer, right? That leverages everything else. You have to bring everybody along at the same time and orchestrate that ecosystem. And then all we're selling is this little piece of substrate.
Yeah.
Right. I couldn't square that. Like, it wasn't a big enough market. It wasn't a desperate enough need. The ecosystem play would be a massive expense, and we weren't the people to lead it. Just decided there's a whole bunch of reasons why this might be a thing one day, but it's not us.
Yeah.
And it's not us right now. Massively capital intensive, all that. So we decided not to look at that. I was also working at the same time on another one was, as you mentioned, the Space Commodities Exchange.
Yeah.
One was organising the first Olympic-scale sporting event in space.
Oh.
So it had a whole stream of like 7 different entertainment properties that would build up to be like a dominant zero-gravity entertainment content creation platform. That one I got offered checks on. Like, I actually went and did an MBA at UCLA to try and find a business partner for that.
Wow.
And then I got there and realised that the entertainment folks don't go to UCLA. But it got me MBA while doing Orbit Fab, which is insane. But yeah, while we're talking about this commodities exchange, we started asking folks, and I got that number, $1 million a kilo. And it ended up like called a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
I got that same answer 7 or 8 times.
Wow. So you verified the number.
Yeah. And then I called everyone who I thought should be doing it. Like ULA had this Cislunar 1000 thing. They were going to get water out of the moon and propellant depots like to refill their rockets. I'm like, why aren't you doing this? They're like, because we're owned by Boeing and Lockheed. And they won't let us.
And they won't let us.
Our mandate is just launch.
Yeah.
And we can hide things under national security. And we can do a little bit more. But that's pretty much it. And I called out other, like the folks that were starting to do satellite servicing, like these orbital transfer vehicles and debris removal and everything. Like, why aren't you guys doing it? You obviously need this. Like, we're trying to solve the robotics problem.
Yeah.
To solve our customers' problem. And so, there was this gap. I'm like, well, there's a massive demand, a huge market, massive margins, and no one else seems to be able to do it because of their other problems. So it's a blue ocean strategy here to just walks in and do it. So that was it. We went all in.
So on startups, we all have to fundraise usually. What has your fundraising experience been like, and can you give any advice to maybe some of those year zero founders?
Yeah, fundraising.
Because you fundraised quite a bit.
Fundraising is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, for like the half a day after you fundraise, and then there's the other time. And you get a lovely break between fundraising. Sometimes you can fit in lunch.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And then you've got to get on with the next fundraise. You got to realize as a founder, your job is fundraising.
Yeah.
Right? You have 3 jobs. Get the right people to actually do the work.
Yeah.
Make sure that everyone's aligned on what they should be doing, what the vision is, and make sure the money is there.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't get to work on anything else.
And in that order, because I feel like you should probably put the money up top, because if you don't have money, nobody else can do anything.
I didn't say they were priority.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, if you're good, you can get people to come in and work for sweat equity.
That's true.
So that's where our 3 founders, right?
Yeah.
So it was Gopal who had the idea on the semiconductors. We had a guy who was fresh out of a school in Michigan, international business, who, like, keen on space. He did an internship at Deep Space Industries.
Yeah.
Just after I was stepping back from it. And I told him, like, get a one-way ticket, fly out to Silicon Valley, and let's work on some of these ideas. So he told his mum that he was going to he was buying a one-way ticket. He's going to live at the Rainbow Mansion with a guy who couldn't pay his salary, but was going to cover his food and rent. She called a private investigator.
Oh no!
Because, like, who is this dodgy guy at Rainbow Mansion?
Wait, it's literally called Rainbow
because it's on Rainbow Drive. But of course, that's not the implication, is it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a little strange.
So, she's a wonderful lady.
You guys got to know each other.
Oh, yeah.
Or she got to know you really well.
She probably knows me way better than I know her.
So on the fundraising, go ahead.
So he'd worked, like, for nothing for a year. We worked on different business ideas before we realized, like, Orbit Fab might go. And it took us another 6 months to raise money.
Yeah.
At which point he'd moved back to Washington to work for his dad's business, and we finally got that first check. And then Gopal got ill, so he had to pull back.
Oh man.
So we, like, pulled all his shares back and everything. It worked out pretty well. He stays as an advisor, but then there were 2 of us, right? So it was myself and Jeremy, who was sort of the junior co-founder.
Sorry, the transmission.
Did your car just break?
Yeah, well, it's a rental, but yeah. So on the fundraising side, I get asked the question a lot about, hey, there's financial VCs and then there's strategic VCs or corporate VCs.
Yep.
Right? So financial side, Andreessen, Sequoia, go down the list.
Yep. On
the strategic or corporate side, Lockheed, Northrop, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Do you have any advice on pros and cons for either side?
Yeah, I'll give you some advice that I got from Greg DeMacadoo. Greg's one of our early investors. He's, like, long-term VC at Sequoia.
Yeah.
He discovered Airbnb. He'd done all right.
Wow.
Y Combinator. A bunch of things. So he was great. When he was running startups back in the 90s, they had a telecom startup that got all 3 major telecoms companies in as strategics in the same room.
Wow.
And his advice was, do not get a strategic investor.
But he got 3.
But because getting a strategic investor is a net negative, right? You're probably not going to sell to its competitors because they think, like, because they're on your board, they got information, right?
Yeah.
So they don't really want to have you as a supplier. You've probably got clauses in there that limit you to basically your only exit is going to be M&A with that. So you capture
For that one.
So you've limited your market, you capture upside. So
Yeah.
VCs see that as a negative. Why did you have to take that money?
Right.
But if you get 2,
Yeah.
you're anointed.
Anointed. The
And that
kingmaker.
was it. We're like it's 2 or nothing.
Okay.
And we managed to negotiate and maneuver Lockheed and Northrop into coming in the same round.
What round was it?
That was our. It was we'll call it a strategic round.
Strategic round.
It was post seed round, pre Series A. So we're just done on convertible notes.
So this is sort of a two-part question. You can answer both or just one. But what is maybe a deal or a project that went totally sideways, something blew up, and you did something crazy to save the program, or you did something crazy like hop in a McLaren or an Audi R8 and close a deal? Just as an example.
Yeah, love it. One of the more fun ones. So to get the company off the ground the first year, we flew 2 payloads up to the space station.
Wow.
NASA told us it would take 24 months. Because we were launching like 3 gallons of water,
Yeah.
pumping it back and forth. You can drown an astronaut in a gallon of water. Because they get on their face, they can't.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Surface tension.
You don't want to do
pulls
that.
it back. And so so that was a catastrophic level hazard. And then when we were done pumping it back and forth, we pumped it into the water bus in the space station.
Okay.
And we're actively pumping it into the water bus. Like, so if you overpressurize the water bus and it springs a leak, we're going to have to evacuate the International Space Station,
Oh,
our $200 billion asset.
No pressure.
Yeah, so
no
please
pressure.
don't do that.
All pun intended.
No pressure. So here's the stack of paper. Just threw the book at us. Told us it would take you 2 years to work through it. So we did it in 4 months.
Wow. That's
Because
crazy.
We had to.
Because you had to. Why did you have to?
Because we're a startup. Like, we have to get on to the next round and raise
Yeah.
money before the money we have in the bank runs out.
Yeah.
Right? We're in desperate rush to get this thing done, and I'm being patient. And so yeah, that was it. We went hell for leather. So we took a bunch of risks. Like, we would build the hardware before the design review.
Yeah.
When we go into the design review, and we'd go in like 3 of us and 60 NASA people.
Oh.
And 55 of them had never heard of it before. Right? So we started
you're
with the
explaining
beginning.
all the, yeah.
We describe it. Then we're going to pump the water into the water bus, and someone says, "You can do that?"
Did you get the
Like, come on,
agenda?
it's physics.
Did you get the agenda before the meeting?
But then we get to the end, and they're like, they've raised a bunch of legitimate concerns, and we've told them like what we think we do, and yada yada yada. Like, okay, so this is a good start. So when you come back in 6 months, like, we'll have a look at what you're actually going to do, and we'll make the decision. We're like, you don't understand. We built the hardware.
Yeah.
We're like, oh,
Here it is.
well, I guess that'll work. It doesn't follow the letter of the requirement, but it meets the intent. So let's sign a waiver on that. Yeah. Okay, we can do this. And that was it, right? If they'd decided it didn't meet the intent, it wasn't safe,
Right.
they would have thrown us out. We would have had to start from scratch, right? So we were taking that risk,
Yeah.
but constantly we're just putting things in front of them. So we flew to NASA Marshall.
Yep.
Where the guy who signs off on the radio emissions interference and like conducted and radiated emissions and what have you, like, you don't want to interfere with all their radios and bring down their Wi-Fi networks and crash their systems.
Yeah.
So you've got to go through these emission tests, and they've got a spectrum that you've got to meet, right? So there's a sensitive instrument here, so don't transmit anything in that part, and
So there's lots of ways for you to take the ISS down. So
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
Oh yeah. Oh, you'd be surprised. And take fingers off astronauts and like it's yeah. So we flew out and actually did the RF emissions test at this guy's facility.
Yep.
Like, you're clearly the expert. Like, we'll come and make friends with you. You can tell us what's up.
Yeah.
So we do this, and we just throw together the electronics, so it's got this noisy spectrum, and he pulls it out and compares it to the requirement. And of course, it's over the requirement in a whole bunch of different areas.
Over in a good way?
No, as in,
Oh.
like it's
Oh.
exceeding the emissions limits.
Got it. Got so over in a bad way.
Right.
Yeah.
But this guy just looks at it and goes,
That should work.
well, you see, you've exceeded this one, but that's a Russian experiment. They haven't used that for 10 years. That's one that we took off like 5 years ago. I wouldn't worry about that because you're not going to operate near that one. I'll just sign that. There you go. We're done.
Oh, wow.
We saved months
Wow.
by having him do the test and sign off.
That's
Just
awesome.
make friends, understand what the real requirement is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what-
treat people like humans. Like, what's it
That's
really
it.
take?
that's it.
Like, let's just get to brass tacks.
And
what is this
their
going to take?
concerns are very legitimate. But
Yeah.
you do not want to drown an astronaut.
No.
I get that. Right?
Yeah.
You do not want to take down their electronic systems.
Wow.
Yeah, they're very real concerns. But there's multiple ways to address them. You could follow the letter of the requirements and you'll be probably be very safe.
Yeah.
Or you can get in there and understand what's actually happening and where there's a bit of give.
There's a little room to exploit the corners.
That's it.
Yeah.
So that's what we did all the way. So we got through. We had to ship the stuff to Houston on the Tuesday after a long weekend. On the Friday before that long weekend, like we're slowly uploading all the verifications that we're getting into the NASA system. You know, it's got to pass all these requirements. And we get an email 5 p.m. Houston time on Friday from somebody at NASA saying we see all the verifications coming in, but they're not all there yet. And, you know, it takes us a while to process these, so we're just going to move you to the next launch.
Oh, no.
Closes their laptop and goes, right?
Wow.
It's like, NASA employees, what do you do?
What do you do?
Well, we go ballistic is what we do. We call everybody. And what had happened, the ISS National Lab had their CEO had been fired because they weren't doing enough commercialization. Because they're supposed to do commercialization and science in the space station. And so NASA was doing a review of them, and NASA's like, they're separately funded by Congress.
Yeah.
So NASA's like, we don't want anyone doing space stuff that's separately funded by Congress. All that money should go through NASA.
Yeah.
So they're being very critical. And so cases were like desperate for these commercialization experiments.
Right.
And here we show up. And we're like, we don't have any science, but we'd love to do this test to, you know, figure some stuff out. They so every time that NASA would slow us down, we'd call up cases. The case was called NASA, we go, see, it's your fault that we can't go slow. And NASA didn't want to take the blame. In fact, they want to make sure cases gets as much blame as possible, so they would clear the roadblock immediately. So it was brilliant.
You have to understand incentive alignment. And
Absolutely.
I think you sound like you're really good at that.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I love it. And so we went ballistic. We called everybody. We called the cases folks, the ISS National Lab, and said, here's the situation. We've just been told we can't launch. We're ready.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. What's happening? Anyway, so they got all the people that were responsible for manifesting payloads on space station, like up to the director, on a phone call at 10 a.m. on the Saturday of a long weekend, and we argued our way back onto the flight.
Wow.
We pulled a 72-hour weekend, got on the plane with the hardware on Tuesday,
My
and that's how I
man.
got to orbit.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there was so many things like that. But we got to orbit within a year of founding the company.
That's incredible. On the
4
ISS.
months from a napkin sketch
Jeez.
to ship and flight hardware.
That's crazy.
A catastrophic level.
I had not heard that before. That's awesome. You ready for a little tinfoil hat corner?
Let's do it.
All right. Have you or anyone you know been visited by an alien, or do you have a good, exciting, or some sort of this isn't supposed to be this way?
So, have you familiar with Bigelow Aerospace? Do you remember those guys?
I know the movie Bigelow, but
Subtly different. So,
yeah.
Robert Bigelow is a real estate tycoon, if you like. He owns Budget Suites of America and a whole bunch of real estate in Las Vegas. And he decided to build space stations.
Yeah.
Because, so many Ferraris in your garage or whatever. So he's building these inflatable space station modules, licensed a bunch of tech from NASA. And the logo for the company is an alien face, like shadowed from one side, in silver and black. It's beautiful, right? It's absolutely excellent. But so I was bottom of the subcontractor chain, helping out with the avionics and things. And unfortunately, Bigelow doesn't exist anymore. But we launched a couple of their inflatable module test beds and things. But Robert Bigelow, absolute alien believer.
Did he share a good story with you that sounded kind of believable?
He had family members who had been abducted.
Oh.
And he was like legitimate on like national television.
Do you have like a story that
he was saying? I wouldn't be surprised if we get a photo of an alien out the window of our space station.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did he have like a specific story he shared with you?
Not with me. No, I just saw all the alien stuff around, and it was kind of funny.
So if there's one technology that you could pull out of the sci-fi movies and make real today, what would it be?
Can I say time travel?
You can say whatever you want. It's sci-fi movies.
Okay, time travel.
Yeah, time travel.
Yeah.
Time travel.
I would say the immortality.
Why do you?
But immortality would be great.
Yeah.
For me, and absolutely terrible for everybody else. Nobody else should have
just you.
Yeah. Time travel, break the universe. I don't know. What do you want? Hyperdrive. Come on, let's go to the start.
Yeah,
right.
That is
one that I can see no negative implications. Like we just hyperdrive.
Do you have any tinfoil hat theories about space yourself?
Tinfoil hat.
Like
theories?
something crazy, like are there wormholes at the center of a black hole? Like, can we? Do you think there are some of these science fiction movies that might actually be
I think
legit?
the tinfoil hat theories I have are probably just like, in my mind, they're ones that are accepted by everybody.
Yeah.
That just everyone should.
Because you surround yourself with.
Well, isn't it the thing that people with tinfoil hat theories don't think they're insane?
That's true.
Yeah. So no,
yeah.
mine are the typical ones. Like we live in a simulation, and it's important that like we can extend human civilization as long as possible, so that we can attack the fundamental physics questions of the universe and see if there's a way to escape from this simulation.
Yeah.
That's probably the most important thing humans should be working on.
Interesting.
There you go.
All right, so we established at the very beginning you're not a car guy.
It's true.
So my question normally
It
is...
doesn't stop me enjoying it.
Oh, okay, great. Blank check. What vehicle would you go get?
Starship.
Starship.
You said blank check, right?
That's a great answer.
Pretty blank check with a space for lots of zeros.
Oh my gosh, that's a good one. Who would you nominate to come in a car with me and drive around for a little while?
Who would I nominate to come in a car?
Who would enjoy this?
I was going to say, can you get Elon Musk? That'd be great.
I mean, I know a guy, but you know.
There you go. Who are you looking for? A startup founder?
Yeah, like Series A or higher, and the car's in neutral. All right, there we go.
Yes.
Yeah, Series A or higher, and somebody's doing something interesting, and they're fun to talk to.
You have Peter Beck.
I would love to have Peter Beck.
There you go.
Are you friends?
Not well
No.
enough to send him out. I mean, I can always try. Yeah, Peter Beck would be interesting.
That would be fun.
Have you had Chris Camping? Because you've seen the Wild Wild Space movie.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah.
I haven't.
He's a fun guy. He really is. The movie is like spot on.
I watched the movie as soon as it came out.
And that's Chris. Like something like that. Yeah. There's so much I like about Chris.
Yeah.
And then there's the other stuff. He's a good guy.
I've thoroughly enjoyed it, Dan. We're back at the show. That was a lot of fun. I learned a lot. Well, cool. I hope you enjoy the rest of your, week 4.
What is your tinfoil hat theory?
There's totally aliens, and I think they're just watching us. They're just watching and waiting to hopefully save us from ourselves.
They watch us all the time.
Yeah, I think so.
Like omnipresent. Like
in the
in the
shower,
shower, you're like the aliens.
Like the Truman Show. Kind of like the Truman Show. They're just watching us on their version of Netflix.
I don't like your reality.
No,
aliens watching me in the shower. Come on.
Oh yeah. I think quantum is going to be really interesting because you're tapping into, according to the scientists, the multiverse, the other worlds. Like how can an electron leave this universe and then pop back in?
Oh, you see,
that's crazy.
So you heard my theory. This is a simulation. Quantum physics is
that kind of points in that direction.
Quantum physics is the way that you cheat on the math.
Yeah.
Like why quantum physics is so fuzzy is because the math isn't actually being done.
Yeah?
Yeah. And if you ever done a lot of simulations, right? You start at you get something done, and you'll run simulations after that point, and you'll try and cut corners, and you won't do all the calculations you have to.
Yeah.
You make some simplifications. That's what this universe is happening, right? That's quantum mechanics is just the corners being cut. That's absolutely what it is.
I like that.
And my belief is fundamentally like the next big round of theories, like we got general gravity and then general relativity and quantum.
Yeah.
Like the next one is just figuring out the information layer and the programming on which everything is being calculated.
All right, we're here. Thanks again, man.
You too, mate.
All right.